I'm Grace Parisi, Culinary Director at Sitka Seafood Market, and today we are going to make creamy one-pot crab pasta. So today we're using Dungeness crab, which is a Pacific Northwest delicacy. This is a half cluster, meaning there's another side which makes up a full Dungeness crab. So you'll see that there's a big claw and 4 smaller legs that have lots of meat in them. And then the body here has also got some great lump crab meat. So first thing we're going to do is break down the crab to get all that succulent meat out of the shells. So break it down by pulling the legs off, really easy. Now you'll notice that it's already steamed and cooked, so the crab is ready to eat. What makes it easier to pull the meat out of the shells is to give it a little steam. Maybe 5 minutes. It just helps release the meat from the shells. So I'm breaking down the knuckles from the legs into different segments. The shells can be a little bit hard. You know, some people have very strong hands, they can actually break them. I use a pair of kitchen scissors because it just makes it so much easier and you get the pieces intact, really nice. Cut on both sides of the leg, open it up, and look at that, lovely. Save the shells because we're going to use those for an enriched seafood stock. So the legs are pretty easy, right? So you've got like these big hunks of meat coming from the legs, but the body is a little bit more tricky because there's the hard carapace on the bottom and then some of this sort of cartilage or hard plasticky-like bits that you want to be able to sort of pull the meat out of. Just use your fingers to pull it out. So this half cluster will yield 6 to 8 ounces of crab meat, which is pretty good. So now that we've got the crab meat picked, we've got the shells, we're saving the shells. They're great for infusing flavor into water or chicken broth or clam juice to make a really fast, quick seafood stock. All it is really just an enrichment of what you've already got. I've got a bottle of clam juice, which is about a cup or 8 ounces, another cup of water, and I'm going to just add these crab shells, and the flavor from the shells will infuse the liquid, which will in part infuse the pasta as it cooks in the stock. 5 to 10 minutes is plenty to extract a little bit more flavor from those crab shells. And then strain it, and then use it for the next part of the recipe. So let's build this pasta. First things first, a bit of butter and olive oil. Olive oil actually keeps the butter from burning, so give it a nice swirl. And then we're going to cook the leeks, which will add a nice sort of sweet oniony flavor. Saute that until they're just lightly cooked, not browned, but just tender and softened. A couple minutes. Give a little sprinkle of salt. I like to salt at various times in the cooking, not just at the end, so it builds layer upon layer of flavor. Ready for the next step, which is to add our seafood stock. So this is what we had just fortified. Add that, and that's 2 cups. Then we're going to bring that to a boil. Now that the stock is simmering, we can add our angel hair pasta. Ordinarily, I would never break strand pasta to fit into a pot, but for something like this where you want to be able to stir it around, breaking it in half is fine. So we're using angel hair pasta because it cooks really, really quickly. Do a little bit more seasoning, get a little bit of black pepper, and now we're going to add a 1/4 cup of cream mixed with the starchy pasta cooking liquid. It's going to add a really nice silky mouthfeel and a really luscious texture to the pasta. Cook it again, maybe a minute or so, just until the pasta's perfectly al dente and the sauce is thick and clinging to the strands. As we pull the pasta off to the side, the sauce is really nice and thick. Last but not least is our Dungeness crab. So fold that in, Turn it off the heat so it doesn't overcook. And then there you have it. Look at that. Garnish with some chives for an extra little herbal, oniony hit. And then there you go. It's so good. 15 minutes, single pot, can't go wrong. For more great recipes and cooking tips and where your fish is coming from, visit sitkaseafoodmarket.com and be sure to hit subscribe for more great videos.